TikTok apparently isn't just for teenagers to make and watch short dance videos. A Pew Research Center survey finds a fifth of U.S. adults now get their news on a regular basis from TikTok. That's up only 3% from 2020. For young adults under 30 years of age, 43% turn to TikTok for news, and roughly a quarter of the people from 30 to 50 years of age say they mainly get their news from the platform. That's a growing reliance on TikTok. That comes as the president has signed an executive order reshaping who controls it. Here to examine what comes next for the app and its 170 million users here in the U.S. is Rome Chalapa. He's the University Emory Professor of Information Systems and Operations Management. Ram, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Now, how significant is this executive order in reshaping just, how TikTok, the way that U.S. regulators handle a foreign tech platform?
Well, it's actually a very interesting approach. I don't think we've seen this before. We have now had the government say that a few particular investors will be owners of TikTok, about 45%. And the Chinese investors and the Chinese government will own kind of the rest of it. So it's a very unique action that has been taken in order to kind of manage and take care of some of the issues with the platform. Would
you see it as a good thing or bad thing?
Well, I don't know whether anointing certain investors to manage is a good thing, but the idea that we need to have some semblance of an understanding of platforms that have essentially become news organizations, that in itself is not a bad thing.
Now, yeah, you mentioned that. The Pew study that we just read says 1 in 5 Americans now regularly get their news from TikTok. How does U.S. control of the platform potentially affect the type of news that users will see?
Well, I don't know if it is actually going to directly impact. The idea is that essentially the algorithm is now available and transparent on the US side of things. So if anything nefarious were to happen, like what the complaints we had during the previous election with sort of the Russian bots and so on, those kinds of components can at least be audited and brought to question. I don't think these investors are going to sit and rewrite the algorithms. All algorithms are focused on targeting the bubble. Essentially, they want to make sure that advertising dollars are maximized more than anything else.
All right, so you talk about advertising dollars. What about misinformation? Talk to me about that. Does tighter U.S. control kind of minimize that, or does it become just more politicized, do you think?
I don't think that really regulation can handle misinformation directly. I mean, by the time it's discovered what is considered misinformation, the definition of misinformation, all these are quite complex topics, and I don't think we can fix these things through these mechanisms.
All right, so let's talk about the younger audience then, right? How might the heavy reliance on TikTok for news impact some of these changes?
Well, I don't believe that the end users are going to see much of a difference. Where there might be implications, it might be to do with the fact that the data might be sitting inside the US. And this we can see with many other countries as well, is that even when multinationals operate and have data about the citizens of those countries, it is often required that the data is held in a data center within that particular nation. And so we might see some of that. So maybe the access to information and the storage of information, that might be contained within. But an average end user is not going to see much of a difference.
And I'm sure a lot of them hope they will not. All right. So, there's still some uncertainty whether or not, I guess, TikTok will stay here in America. Where do you fall on that line? Do you think that its days are numbered, or it'll be around?
I think they're going to strike a deal. That would be my guess. I don't think they would want to give up the market that we have, and there may be some middle ground as to what percentage and who will own it. I think that will still be discussed, but I'm pretty sure some deal will be struck.
Okay, Professor Chalapa, really thank you for your insight. Really appreciate it. A lot of people want to know about this. I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk more about it.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.